The action film genre has not been the same since Keanu Reeves killed someone with a pencil in John Wick. Whether it's Atomic Blonde, Monkey Man, or Fight or Flight, you can see John Wick's fingertips in the action genre to this day. It's a very specific type of action style, it's scrappy, the characters are using whatever they can get their hands on to kill a guy, but no matter what they do, it just doesn't end up being as good as the Baba Yaga himself. The way that Chad Stahelski films an action sequence is just unparalleled. I mean, think about the over-the-top God's Eye View action scene in the third act of John Wick Chapter 4. My favorite of these John Wick imitations as of right now is probably Dev Patel's Monkey Man. But for me, these movies are at their best when they lean into the absurd. These kinds of action movies where one guy takes down 100 with barely a scratch are inherently absurd, and I prefer a movie that knows it. It's why the original John Wick is my least favorite of the 4 films. I feel like at that point, they were still taking it way too seriously, only for the sequels to really lean into the absurd. It's for that same reason that I didn't enjoy the first Nobody, an action film made by a group of stunt guys who worked on the original John Wick films. Not only is Bob Odenkirk utterly unconvincing as an action star, the movie just took itself way too seriously, taking way long to get to the good stuff, the stuff that you came to see, you know, the action. And it's for that reason that Nobody 2 is a far superior sequel to the original while still being an incredibly flawed, if fun, time. The premise goes something like this. Hutch Mansell, played by Better Call Saul's Bob Odenkirk, is on a vacation with his family. This vacation is meant to be a break from his workaholic tendency, but I'll let you guess what happens. It's not long before he finds himself in the line of fire of some pretty dangerous people. That's pretty much all you need to know, because the story primarily exists to give Bob Odenkirk a chance to kill a bunch of people John Wick style. One thing I appreciate about this movie is that it knows exactly what you came to see, and it gives you it right off the bat. After a funny opening scene which serves as a pretty great callback to the opening scene of the first Nobody, we're quickly thrust into a world of high-stakes, scrappy, bloody action. You've seen it in movies like John Wick, Bullet Train, Atomic Blonde, and it never gets old. Especially when you have a director at the helm who captures the action in all of its bloodiness, grit, and weight. And this movie certainly does. No pun intended, but this movie does not pull any punches. It's almost like Bob's fist is coming out of the screen and straight toward your face. As I mentioned early in the review, I love when these kind of movies truly embrace their silliness, and this movie definitely does. The kills are often as humorous as they are bloody, as goofy as they are gritty, which ends up giving the movie a darkly comedic edge. That feeling that you shouldn't be laughing, but you just can't help it. Now, as much as I appreciate the physical weight behind the action sequences, I appreciate this movie more for the way it manages to give narrative weight to the action as well. The inverse is exactly why Ballerina from the world of John Wick didn't quite work. I couldn't care less about Ana de Armaz's character. I honestly can't remember her name, which is testament to just how unremarkable the story of that film was. Nobody 2, impressively enough, manages to get you to care about Bob Odenkirk's character. If John Wick is a lone wolf, then this character is desperately trying to stay in his pack while being torn into a world of high-stakes action. And that conflict between his life as an assassin and as a family man, I found to be pretty compelling. I'm not a purist when it it comes to runtime. I mean, I'm all for a movie being as long or as short as it needs to be, but oftentimes it feels like we're trending toward 2.5-hour blockbusters, and some directors just can't help themselves but stuff an extra 20 minutes that the movie would have worked just as well without. But between Naked Gun and this, it feels pretty nice to get back to a lean hour 30 minutes of fun. With such a brief runtime, this movie really doesn't waste your time. Everything that's here feels like it needs to be. As far as the bad, if I had an issue buying Bob Odenkirk as an action star in the first movie, then I had an even harder time here. At least in the first film, there was an effort to filter this character through the lens of being a pretty unusual action hero. That said, the supporting cast is pretty great. Even small bite-sized characters manage to make their mark. Nepo baby alert, but Colin Hanks is in this movie, and he does a pretty good job. And hey, let's all count our lucky stars that we didn't get Tom Hanks' other son in this movie. As far as weak links in the cast go, what the hell is Sharon Stone doing here? Now, we've seen Heath Ledger's Joker ripped off ad nauseum, Jason Momoa's character in Fast and Furious being the worst example. Until this. Never have I ever felt like someone quite literally copy and pasted Heath's performance into their own movie without even trying to do anything original. While the movie starts strong, the second half is definitely far weaker. While the movie establishes a strong emotional core, it feels like the screenplay loses sight of it the further we go along. The more isolated the character becomes from the rest of his family, the less I feel like we're still following that same narrative thread that we established of him being torn between his two worlds. And the payoff we get to this character who's pretty much forsaking his own family to kill some guys, let's just say is let off the hook pretty easy. With that said, there are enough solid action sequences and great laughs for me to call Nobody 2 a good time. Does it reach the heights of John Wick? Not even close. But if you have an hour and a half to spare and you like an action movie, definitely give this one a watch. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and jump in the comments and let us know what you thought about Nobody 2 if you've had the chance to see it. I'm Cinemike, and I'll see you next time.